Alright, so in this video, I am showing you how I created the title page for my Disney 2021 album. So as you can see here, I have this file opened up in Photoshop that says Disney 2021. I created this cut file myself, and it's included as part of a free download when you sign up for my newsletter. I am just showing you the tabs on the side. You can just punch some holes into that and insert it straight into your album. This cut file is sized at about 4 inches by 6 inches, which is perfect to add into a 3x8 album. It's about the size of the 3x8 page projector, or you could also add it into a 4x8 Life Crafted album, or even a 6x8. As a part of the download pack, you will get this PNG version of the cut file, so you can use it if you have a Cricut or another design cutting software. But I'm going to show you how I am using it in my silhouette portrait. So I'm going to take you over to Silhouette Studio and show you how I cut the cut file. All right, so I've gone ahead and opened up the Silhouette Ready file in my Silhouette Studio. I am printing this on my Silhouette portrait, so this is an 8.5 by 11 canvas. And as you can see, I have 2 cut files that I have included in this, this particular Silhouette Ready SVG. This is the top portion of the cut file, and then this is the back portion of the cut file. So you're going to add your pattern papers into each one of these letter shapes, and then you're going to back this whole cut file with this back portion here. And obviously you will have spaces already cut out so that all of them line up perfectly, and some of the cut file will be transparent. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to print this page. So I'm just going to do that by clicking the printer button. And all you're really doing right here is just printing the registration marks. So once that's done, you're going to load that into your Silhouette and then click on the send button over there on the right. Make sure that you have the correct settings for your blade and the paper type that you're using, and then you're just going to send that straight off to your Silhouette, and the cut lines are already prepped for you, so this is literally just open and cut, and you will have your very own Disney 2021 cut file to use in your own album. All right, so now I'm going to show you how I created the patterns that will fit inside each of the letters of my title cut file. So here I have a bunch of rectangles. This file will also come as part of your download packet, and each of these rectangles are sized about to the inside of each of the letters. So this would be D, I, S, N, and so on and so forth. So I have chosen a couple of patterns and placed them in the rectangles already, and I'm going to show you how I do that in a second. But these patterns are all from the Project Mouse collection. I believe most of these are from Project Mouse 2, which is a collaboration between Sahlin Designs and I believe it's Designs by Brittany, or Brittany Designs, something like that. And they do this wonderful collaboration that is all Disney themed, and they have quite a few of them. This one is the Galaxy's Edge one, which is the newest one, and then, as I said, all of these are from Project Mouse 2. So I'm going to show you how I created these little miniature patterns from those digital files. So first I'm just going to make sure that my rectangle is selected over here in my layers panel. As you can see, rectangle 2 is now selected, and then I'm going to go into my Finder and find the pattern. All right, so I'm just going to navigate to my pattern folder, which I believe is pattern paper number 2 in the Project Mouse 2 collection. And I am choosing this cloud pattern right here. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag and drop it into my canvas. And here it is. So as you can see, it fills up the entire 8.5 inch width, because this is a 12 by 12 paper, I believe. If you did it to the actual size that the paper is, I believe it would be 12 by 12. And since it is so large, I am going to scale it down a little bit so that the pattern is just a teeny bit smaller when I go to print it. So I just used the arrow keys to scale it down. I'm going to click this check mark. I'm going to reposition that so it covers the entire rectangle, and then I'm going to go over here to my layers panel, right click on the pattern paper, and then scroll down to create clipping mask. And there I have my pattern. So I'm just going to click that one back on, and these are all of my patterns for my title page. And now we are at my crafting desk. I'm just showing you the front part of my cut file that we will be working on right now, and I'm cutting out all of my pattern paper. So if you have your own pattern paper in your stash that you can use for this, you definitely don't have to print it out just because I did. Feel free to use what's in your stash. I just don't have any Disney themed crafting supplies really, so most of my stuff is going to be digital files that are printed. So as you can see, I'm kind of leaving myself a small white border around each of the patterns, and that's just to give myself a little bit more leeway when I'm cutting out each letter, which we'll see here in a second. So I went with a color scheme of patterns that were yellow, red, and shades of blue. And I just wanted to make sure that I didn't have too much of the same color on one side or the same color too close together. So I kind of fiddled around with the right placement. And I say right in quotations because there's no right. I could have done this multiple different ways, but I just decided that I was just going to go for it and put this castle as the backing for the D. So if you've watched any of my videos before, you know that cutting things along a shape is not my strong point. So I decided to make things a little bit easier on myself and use the inside part of each of the letters as a guide to cut out each of my patterns. So as you can see, I just added that the inside portion of the D onto my pattern paper and use that as a guide to cut around. I did leave a small border around the shape of the D so that I would have enough paper to stick it onto the back side of my cut file. I am using some Tombow Mono liquid adhesive. I believe this is in the fine line bottle. I will try to link it on Amazon if I can find it. And I'm just adding a little bit of glue around that outline of the cut file, and I'm going to press the pattern paper on top of it. Everything turned out really well so that the white part of the white border that I left kind of disappeared. It was covered by the cut file, so it worked really well, and I repeated this process for each one of my letters. As you can see, I'm working on the I. It is a little bit finicky, obviously, because you're working with small pieces and very small cut files, so definitely the smaller fine tip of your glue, the better. You could also probably just use your fingers to smear glue onto the back, but I thought that was a little messy. So since I had this fine liner bottle, I just went ahead and used it, and it turned out really well. I'm not going to sit here and make you watch me fill out the entire cut file because I'm literally doing the same exact process for each of the letters. So we're going to finish up with this S, and then we're going to skip to the end. And while we are finishing that up, I'm just going to walk you through how I added the back portion of that cut file that we already cut earlier in this process to my title page. So my camera cut out before I could record it, but pretty much you're just going to add a layer of glue. I use that same Tombow Mono fine adhesive to add a layer of glue to the back of all of the pattern papers. And then I just went ahead and added the back part of the cut file right onto there, making sure that all of the transparent spaces lined up. And it's super simple, super easy. You just have to give it a little bit to dry depending on which adhesive you're going to use, and then your cut file is complete and it looks beautiful and gorgeous on the front and the back. So I am really excited to see what kind of stuff you guys use this cut file for. Obviously I am using it for my Disney travel album for 2021. You can get this cut file for yourself by subscribing to my email list, which I will have a link to in the YouTube description. And I hope you enjoyed watching this process. I love how this turned out and how everything came together. And I'm excited to keep working on my Disney album for 2021. Have a great day, and thanks so much for watching. Bye.